cage, two rings. Tonight, War Games returns with a bang. Tonight, can the corporate team fight back the battle of the resistance known as the Bullet Club? Plus, can CM Punk take back the championship he once held in tables, ladders and chairs against Shawn Michaels? All that and more live tonight at Desolation, the final pay-per-view event before WrestleMania. And when you talk WrestleMania, you have to talk about the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. He is undefeated at NLW WrestleManias, and he is also undefeated until at Insurgents, Daniel Bryan became the first man to defeat Kurt Angle. Tonight, he is having a match that many did not expect to happen. Kurt Angle looked set to retire a couple of weeks back. However, the man he's about to face brought him back to the brink. And now, the match is on. Kevin Owens wanted to put Kurt Angle out for himself. However, Owens tonight has a great chance of doing so. Kevin Owens has also been undefeated for his entire NLW run. He's never been pinned or submitted. However, Angle, although only having one blemish on his record, it's important to point out that Angle has been in this company since 2014. And following that win over John Cena at the first WrestleMania, he has been an unstoppable force. Kevin Owens believes here tonight he can be the force that finally stops this Olympic gold medalist. There's a couple of punches. A go behind by Angle, but elbowed out of it. And now the reverse into the turnbuckle and a hard clothesline. Angle has made it clear that he's not going down without a fight. And there's that Olympic training, that amateur wrestling background coming into play. But now, Owens, oh my goodness, now a choke on Kurt Angle, the crossface. Maybe wants to get an early submission win. But now the roll-up and a kick-out by Owens, and he has to be careful there. Misses the clothesline off the ropes. Pop-up powerbomb, no, from behind. The German suplex. And there's the first of what I'm sure will be many suplexes for Kurt Angle in this matchup brought to you by the Metal brand. A couple of weeks ago on Metal, Owens said he was an evil, evil man, and that's on display here tonight. A vicious headbutt and the Hoshi-Goroshi. The last match that Kurt Angle had on pay-per-view one-on-one was against Daniel Bryan, and he lost. And now he's looking to get back on his winning ways following that impressive undefeated streak. But now Owens reverses him into the turnbuckles with his very own belly-to-belly suplex. And that is not going to be good for the back of Angle. And again, the cannonball by Kevin Owens. And now Owens looks to mock Kurt Angle and his signature pose. And now a significant effect being done by Kevin Owens. That chop to the chest. And now the super kick. And there's the senton that he missed earlier. Didn't have the knees up that time, but still a kick out by Kurt Angle. It was on episode 40 of Metal where Kevin Owens powerbombed the edge of the ring apron. But, oh, and there's a snap belly to belly by Kurt Angle. And as I was saying earlier, it was a powerbomb on episode 40 of Metal onto the apron, which nearly ended the career of Kurt Angle right there and then. He is probably still feeling the effects of it here tonight, but he's trying not to show it. There you see the Olympic takedown and then kicked away out of the ankle lock. And now clothesline to the outside. Again holding his back, you can see there, as Owens looks to meet him on the outside. And now, oh no, speaking of apron power bombs, Owens wants to end it right here and now with a powerbomb on the apron, but Angle hangs onto the ropes for dear life. And now they're both back on the apron. And now it's Kurt Angle looking for a suplex. Tries to lift him up. Owens denies it. And now a brainbuster. Brainbuster on the hardest part of the ring. No give whatsoever. Right on that ring apron. And it's right there. That could have caused a concussion for Kurt Angle. Lord knows he's suffered many throughout his career. But the fighting spirit that Angle has, he's not going to let an apron brainbuster slow him down, although let's face it, when you're in the ring with Kevin Owens, he is going to take advantage of it. And make sure that you do not forget what has happened. And again, working on that head. The kick, the boot, and now on the top rope. Angle planted and poised on the top rope. Maybe going for a suplex, but elbowed away. And now Owens is on the floor. And look at that! The height and precision of that moonsault from Kurt Angle. And that to me seemed like a last-ditch effort to try and get some momentum back. It could have been over with the apron brainbuster, but now trying to mount a comeback, series of punches, and now following the shots, 2 German suplexes, but elbows his way out of the third one. But in comes Angle, looking for the Angle slam, but instead Owens goes behind, and a wheelbarrow apron. Well, not an apron, I'm still thinking of that brainbuster. I know Kurt Angle's still thinking of that brainbuster, but right there you saw the wheelbarrow neckbreaker. And where the hell is Owens going now? That's 270 pounds going up to the top rope. And again! Brought back down by Kurt Angle, and that belly to belly from the top rope in for the cover. But a kick out by Kevin Owens. And Owens holding his back. Still suffering. But I know that Angle's going to try and work through the pain. He's got the ankle lock in the centre of the ring. And Owens needs to try and get out of this one. And he does. A roll-up pin. But a kick out by Angle again. It should be noted that aside from that submission loss, Kurt Angle's never been pinned in this company. And now, went for the cannonball. But missed. And now Angle from behind. And the Angle slam. And it's surely over right now. But there you see, Kevin Owens has been in the sport long enough to know where he is in the ring at all times, and he managed to get his foot on the bottom rope. And it was a matter of positioning that time. Had he been in the centre of the ring, I'm not so sure that Kevin Owens would have been able to kick out. And now he's placed on the top rope again. Angle looking for something, maybe a suplex, but Owens trying to punch his way out. Oh my God! And a fisherman buster from the top rope. And we mentioned the toll that this match has taken on the lower back of Kurt Angle. And Owens knows this. And now going to end it with a pop-up powerbomb. But pops up. Sunset flip into the ankle lock. Now they're in the centre of the ring. And now Kevin Owens has nowhere to go. And he tries to reach out to those bottom ropes. But instead, Angle sits back with it, sits down, and now Owens has nowhere to go. They're in the centre of the ring, winching back on that angle is Kurt Angle. But just about in the nick of time, Owens makes it to the ropes. And Owens just about makes it to the ropes, almost tapped out there. And now he's holding onto that rope for dear life, going for another German. But oh! The referee didn't see it, but there was a low blow. And now pop-up powerbomb. Angle desperately tries to fight out. Oh my good God almighty. Good God almighty, a powerbomb in between the rings. And if his lower back wasn't done in before, it is now. We have 2 rings set up here tonight for War Games. And Angle just got powerbombed in between them. 1, 2, 3. And the pop-up powerbomb finally does it. Kevin Owens becomes the first man in 3 years in this company to pin the unpinnable seemingly. He has defeated Kurt Angle. And that is only the second loss for Kurt Angle in his NLW career. And he has suffered a pinfall for the very first time at the hands of Kevin Owens. We'll take a look at this again. The pop-up powerbomb was scouted well by Angle. He turned it into an ankle lock, and then following the low blow, it looked as if Owens was going to go for the pop-up powerbomb. Instead, he turned it into a powerbomb between the 2 rings. That is hard wood out there, folks. And then the pop-up powerbomb in the ring, and Angle suffers defeat for only the second time, and the first time by pinfall. And Owens said before the start of this matchup that he wanted to personally end the career of Kurt Angle, and he very nearly did so. In fact, we don't know the extent of that lower back injury, so perhaps Kevin Owens was right when he said he was going to retire Kurt Angle tonight. Owens said he was an evil man, and that showed with that powerbomb between the rings. Tonight, Owens is triumphant against Kurt Angle.
Well, this is certainly a surprise. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you too. I was just visiting here in NLW, just looking up and down the card of talent you have here is amazing, but Cesaro, when I look at you, you remind me of a young Canadian athlete. I am talking about myself. I see a young Bret Hart when I look at you. You have the drive, you have the work ethic, and I admire that about you. You are the most underrated wrestler that they have on this brand, and I just wanted to give you some advice. I've wrestled the likes of Yokozuna, I've wrestled the likes of Andre, I've wrestled the likes of Goldberg, but Brock Lesnar is a different beast. Tonight, your technical ability is second to none, and I know that tonight you are not going to disgrace any one of your fans in attendance right here tonight. You are the man to lead this company in the future, and tonight you have the chance to make yourself a star. I had a star-making performance against a young Ric Flair, and I became a star that night when I won the WWF Championship. And tonight, you can do the very same by making yourself a star, beating the beast, seemingly unbeatable Brock Lesnar. I have absolute faith in you, Cesaro, and I know you are not going to disgrace me, you're not going to disgrace these fans tonight. You are walking out of here triumphant. And I appreciate the kind words, Bret. I'm not going to let you down. Tonight, Brock Lesnar will feel the power of Cesaro, and I will defeat the undefeatable. I'm going to beat the beast tonight.
I mean, you never know who's going to show up at NLW, but Bret Hitman Hart, well, Cesaro couldn't have asked for a better endorsement. But coming up next, folks, it is for the NLW Women's Championship. And although this woman made a miraculous comeback from a near career-ending knee injury, she is still met with boos from this audience here tonight. That is because several weeks back on Metal, Trish did the unthinkable and brutally assaulted the women's champion Lita. She later stated that it was because she was, well, this isn't exactly her words, but the gist of it was she was jealous of Lita. And that is because Lita won the women's championship just one night after Trish failed to capture the title in a cage match against Charlotte Flair, the former champion. And tonight, Trish Stratus has the opportunity to prove that she should be the women's champion and not this woman. The most popular women's wrestler in this company at the moment. And it is that popularity and that drive and that spirit that has brought her such fortune as she is now the women's champion. On episode 53, Lita finally did what no other woman was able to do up until then, and that was defeat Charlotte for the women's title. Trish believed it should have been her. In fact, at the Royal Rumble, our last pay-per-view, Charlotte was the champion going in, Trish was the challenger, and that knee injury was still a factor, meaning that Trish did not pick up the title on that occasion. But tonight, maybe her knee is 100% finally, and now already go for a chip kick. But now, this storied rivalry continues, and there is a series of shots, and then a shot with that boot, and now taking Lita into the corner. And they're going to choke her out with that boot. And now in the corner, whipped off the ropes and misses the punch. But Lita manages to get back at her, hooks the leg and sweeps it under, but only a 2 count. And Lita, many questioned her stability in this matchup and her medical status. After all, last week on Metal, Trish Stratus actually attacked Lita in the backstage while she was having an examination to try and see if she was over the concussion she suffered when she was attacked by Trish. But now, Trish is the one on the back foot. Trish is on the outside, and my God! Suicide dive from Lita. And Lita landed right on her head and neck. And it is that injured head that was originally injured by Trish Stratus a couple of weeks ago. And now, thankfully she's on her feet, but I'm also worried about Trish. Look at the tumble she took, but look at that, landing right on her head and neck. And now Trish is in the ring and she's telling the referee to come and check on her. She may have well injured that knee again, that same knee that kept her out of action for several months here in this company. And it may be over right now. Trish has still got that injured knee and Lita's trying to back off. Oh, wait a minute! Oh, and I should have known. That knee wasn't injured, it was a ruse, and now look at that. She's got the knee brace now on the outside of her leg, and it's that knee brace that she requires because of her knee injury, and now she's using it as a weapon. I'm not sure how much the referee's going to allow this, but there's a delayed vertical suplex, and now picks her up again. And it was that knee brace that Trish needs for medical reasons, and now look at this, the sleeper. Lita is being hung by her neck and now dropped down. Trish Stratus on the top rope and the missile drop kick. Trish has taken the advantage with the knee brace and the referee's finally taken it off her. And now Lita is the one who is suffering here. And now again working on the head and neck area. She's trying to choke her out as best she can, but Lita back to her feet. And now Lita, now firing back with a series of shots. Ran into the corner. And now tries to, but had the leg scissors and thrown over the top again. Lita now, going to make it to the top rope, or is she? Trish is on top. And now watch out. And comes crashing down to the mat. The top rope superplex. And Lita finding a way to get back into this title fight. This is her first pay-per-view championship defense. And Lita is making sure that it's a memorable one. Now going for the Lita Rana. But instead Trish reverses it into a facebuster. Here's the cover, but a kick out by Lita. The challenger taking control with another kick. And now picks her up, and again Lita on the top rope. Now Trish Stratus going for that Rana. And Lita, oh my god, hangs on in the strength. A powerbomb from the top rope. And now Trish is the one feeling the ill effects of this brutal fight so far. Both women seem to be injured, but Lita, look at this, double springboard into a Rana. The double springboard into the Hurricane Rana to Trish Stratus. And now Lita seems to be in control again. Go for the DDT. But a Northern Lights suplex and the bridge on her toes, but a kick out by Lita. Nearly had it then, and oh my, and there's a kick. And it could be over. New women's champion perhaps, but Lita still kicks out. The chip kick to that injured head wasn't enough. And that is what the women's championship means to both these competitors. Not only that, the rivalry that these two women have had is perhaps the greatest women's rivalry of all time. And it has re-emerged here in No Limits Wrestling, all because Trish is jealous of Lita. And now she wants to put it away with a superplex. Lita trying to fight out of it, and instead, the DDT from the top rope, planting Trish Stratus. Lita is still dazed from the head injury, but now ascending the turnbuckle, on the top rope, and the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. And Lita retains the Women's Championship. Well, you can't say that Trish didn't give it her all, but at the end of the day, it was Lita who came out with the women's title still in her grasp. No amount of head injuries are going to keep Lita from keeping that women's title around her waist by any means necessary. Well, look at this. It was that head that was targeted throughout this contest. And the chick kick nearly did it. Lita kicked out though and turned the superplex into a DDT from the top rope. And then it was the icing on the cake was that moonsault. And it is Lita who is still your NLW Women's Champion. And Trish Stratus is still livid. She felt that she had it in the bag here tonight, as she felt in the steel cage match at the Royal Rumble against Charlotte. However, in the interim, when Charlotte, I should say Trish Stratus, was taken out with a knee injury, Lita has ascended the ranks of the women's division, and that eats away at Trish Stratus. Tonight, she had the chance to rectify that, but it wasn't to be. Instead, Lita remains your NLW Women's Champion. Oh, and now we cut to the backstage, and look who's warming up. Cesaro gets a ringing endorsement from Bret the Hitman Hart, but Brock Lesnar needs no endorsement. He needs no introduction. All he needs is an opponent to kick their ass. And up next, that could very well be the case. Cesaro has a major challenge on his hands, but if anybody's up to it, it is him. The Swiss Superman versus the Beast Incarnate is up next, here at Desolation.